Are you constantly feeling exhausted as an entrepreneur? It might not be work issue at all. It might be the weight of trust issues that has been weighing you down all this while. So today I want to explore with you the possibility of that inner exhaustion. It may be mental, it may be emotional, it may be even physical exhaustion or even burnout that you are currently experiencing. And I would like to share a real story that I worked with in the past few months. She came to me as a client with these issues of mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion. She constantly feeling tired. When she gets sick, and it will take her like a week or even 2 weeks to recover. And when I sat down with her to work through what was the actual situation, we discovered that has been a lot to do with trust issues. So I want to discuss something that is very controversial, that we are not talking about how do we deal with it from the external strategy. I'm going to talk about how we actually address the inner situations that has been actually weighing us down due to this mental and emotional stress that actually we kept inside ourselves due to actually trust issue. So what happens to her was that she always find herself very suspicious about her co-workers and about her even business partners, about even her clients, always worrying about competitions, always doubting the performance. And that make it very difficult for her to even delegate to her senior team, to her senior management team. So she find that looping doubts and suspicions very, very difficult to kind of slow down inside her mind. It's like a broken record keep on replaying within her. And she came to me because she felt that it has been many years, despite different motivational programs she been through in order to rectify the situation, but she find that it's still not working out because underlying issues she know is a trust issue, but whenever she process, I would say when it comes to processing all these different facets of work issues, she couldn't find a way to actually slow down her mind from not doubting. It's like a habit that is so strong inside her. It's like a reflex that she built for the past 20, 30 years. So in order to put in the positivity mind to tell herself to trust, it's like you're using like 1% of your mental willpower to go against the 99% of a built-in mindset or the built-in trauma that she has experienced in the past. So she came to me to actually wanting to deal with this from the root level. So what we have discovered in the whole healing session was that the issues derive from her childhood time when her dad actually took her brother living in Malaysia and left her alone in Malaysia. And that incident itself created a sense of betrayal. She felt that her dad was not prioritizing her as a daughter, but prioritizing her brother more than her. So that created a first worldview in her childhood time that she feels that she doesn't get the kind of trust from even the loved ones, even her family members. So a lot of time in our life, we have that kind of worldview being formed when we were much younger. And that worldview can be very, very strong. And we neglect that the possibility of that perception or that worldview can actually potentially be brought forward in our life and can even affect us today. So what happened to her was that worldview was reliving inside, not just in her mind, in her unconscious mind, but also reliving it in her cell, in her body chemical level. So what happened is constantly in, not just at work, but also in her personal life, she often experienced the same replay of that belief systems that I do not trust anyone. I do not trust the world. I do not trust people who have been with me. I do not trust my family. When that keep on replaying, what is going to happen to our biological level is that our body will constantly emitting out that stress, emitting out that like different hormones that create stress for us, because we have to always be alert, always be on alert mode, always to be vigilant, so that we can actually be prepared for any battle out there. So that has been a reality for her. So guess what happened when we are constantly being bombarded by this kind of stress? It's like a soldier, it's like an army getting ready to fight a battle at any moment in time. So your body will always be in this stress zone. And that actually create a lot of exhaustions. So what happens when we are able to actually eliminate this root cause? For her case, it's actually went back in time through a process to actually reveal that particular moment. So a lot of time when we grow up, we feel that those past moments are no longer affecting us. A lot of time we feel that we have already grown up enough that those are negligible. Oftentimes we believe that when we already become more matured, has more wisdom when we are an adult, and we often neglect the voice that hurt inside us. And that is like an inner child inside us being like broken, sad, or even betrayed. That feeling will always be trapped in what I call the time space within us. Not just in our mind as a memory, but also as a chemical trapped in the body. So imagine the mind constantly replaying their memories, not consciously, but a lot of times very unconscious. So that unconscious environment inside us create a lot of toxic hormones, a lot of toxic energies within us. So our cells will be constantly have to combat with that energy in order to balance off those so-called the negative feeling or the trauma that we face. And that is the main cause that actually we drain out our energy. So every morning you wake up assuming you have 100% of a battery energy, but then because of that unconscious trust issues, and that issues can kind of drain off that battery from 100%. Maybe you start a bit lower at 50%, because that 50% of energy will be used to actually balance off the stress inside your body. So you will be ending up waking up with 50%. But that 50%, when you go out to work, facing clients, facing colleagues, facing situations that you need to address, you need to resolve, what's going to happen to that? The rest of 50%, you will drain off really pretty quickly. So before end of the day, you'll be feeling exhausted, and the next day, you repeat the same process, because when that 50% drain off to zero and you go back, you rest, you sleep, a lot of time it doesn't replenish to 100, maybe you replenish to 80%, and then the next day, the 80%, you drain off another 50%, and you start off with 30%, it's even lower than yesterday. So there will come a time that our body will have no more energy, no more reserve energy for us to actually handle our daily life. And that can be potentially one big emotional cause of our physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, and even emotional exhaustions. So when I went through that process with her to not just identify her root cause of her trust issue due to betrayal in the past. So once we we kind of have a closure, has a mental, emotional, and energy closure towards that event itself. What happened was that she felt the relief of the body muscle cells, relief of the emotional tension. And guess what happened? In a month later, she find herself in a much more positive situation. She started realizing that she can actually allow people into her space now. She started realizing that her personal relationship can actually be much more intimate, much better, because previously it was so difficult for her to trust another partner. And now, not just that trust issue being resolved, but because of the boundaries, I would say the walls that she built due to that distrust around her for 30 over years. And that walls kind of collapsed inside her. When that wall collapsed inside her, what is amazing is we allow light in, we allow positivity in, because there will be no more this defense inside us, and there will be no more attack that we are attracting. And she finds herself no longer need to be suspicious over almost everything in her life. And that gave her a strong sense of relief and freedom. And after that, she kind of gets so much better, not just mentally, emotionally, but also physically. She has a lot more energy to actually expand her team, expand the business, and to bring that business and her team to the next level. So I'm bringing this thing up because I feel that oftentimes we overlook at the possibility of our mental, emotional, and even physical exhaustions. A lot of time we have been looking at or maybe we lack of sleep, maybe we lack of exercise, maybe we are not having the right diet. I'm not saying they are not the factors. Of course, there are important factors. But one of the most important things to me that I feel a lot of people are overlooking, I feel it is very much to do with our inner emotions. Because you have to think about, we only have 3 meals a day. But emotions is like a meal that you take on from moment to moment. Every single second, we are actually consuming our emotions, like it or not. We are feeling things, we are feeling people, we're feeling environment. Even we're feeling it in the dream, and we wake up from the dream, come back to reality, and then we're still feeling it, our yesterday situations, our yesterday emotions. So emotion has been something that we consume on the moment-to-moment basis. And in this case, it's about distrust issue. So what happens when the cells are constantly being bombarded by this distrust feeling? And the cell will actually contract. And that creates a lot of tension, a lot of stress. So this cell is not just one cell. You're looking at about the whole body, because all the cells are connected. They all work together as one. So when that environment, that inner environment, have this inner story of distrust issues, we will be constantly being bombarded by this stress. And that is a very unconscious stress. And with that kind of stress, you are going to wake up every single day feeling exhausted. No matter how much rest, how much sleep you have, until we come to have a good closure with this inner story. And only when we actually resolve this inner story, what's going to happen is the cell will eventually be relaxed, because there will be no more bombarding of this distrust feeling. And that cells become more relaxed. Of course, we become more relaxed. Our mind become clear. Our energy will be replenished much more efficiently over the night, every single day. So I feel whoever listening to this, is important that if you are watching this until this point, I'm sure you resonated with some part of inside you that maybe you're thinking, maybe that is what you are facing right now. You see, we all have different kind of childhood. We all are brought up differently. And all these incidents around us, how we've been brought up, what has happened to us, they are significant. They are important, because those memories are still within us. It's inside our DNA, it's inside our energy field. So it is important to have a closure eventually. So I feel what is important, at least at this point of time, what you can do to yourself is really by asking the questions that, which part of me that is facing this trust issue? Which part of my life has started the seed of this distrust? And then allow yourself to sit in a quiet corner. Allow yourself to just be quiet, be silent, and allow their inner voice to guide you. And once your body's memory open up, I'm sure sometime all that forgotten memories that we kept it aside, we brush it aside, they will start coming back to us. They will start flooding sometimes. So if you sit down in a corner and you still don't get that immediate answer from your body intelligence, from your inner voice, be patient with it, because maybe this is the very first time you are doing this inner reflection by bringing awareness to yourself, what is actually happening within you. So sometimes you don't get the answer right away. Sometimes after you come out from that inner reflections, you may bump into maybe a reel, maybe a message from social media, maybe someone talking about something that suddenly resonates with you. Those are messages of how the universe actually sends messages to us. So I feel it's important to be patient with this process and slowly build the awareness of what is happening within you. And only when we build enough awareness of what actually happens to us, then we can actually eventually come to have a good closure of all those inner stories. Basically, it's bringing harmony to our inner story. So once all the inner story are becoming more harmonious, becoming more loving, we eventually become much, much more balanced, much, much more happier and free. And only then we will be able to attract the things that we really desire into our life. Not just attracting a better health, better business partners, better clients, better business opportunities. All goodness and abundance will come to us when we become a better person from inside out. So I feel it's really, really critical for us to become aware. Everything around us is actually built as a projection from our inner core. It means our inner story that has energy, that has vibrations. That inner story eventually is being projected out to our outer environment. So without changing what is inner, honestly, it's very difficult to change what is outer. I'm sure you have tried that multiple ways to actually rectify what is out there. All the external strategy will work so much better when we are operating from a good inner space. So welcome to my channel. I'm SKYYT here, and this channel is built to empower entrepreneurs to actually lead from peace and build with purpose. Thank you. So if you find this helpful and you really need a personalized help, we are here to actually help to bring more clarity to you. So do reach out to us through the link in the description below.